I think we're live on YouTube. All this scrambling at the last minute to get you a live video of today's announcement coming out of LA from Microsoft. Apparently a major announcement. We have no idea what it's going to be, though. So you could ask me what I think it is, and I don't know. I really don't know. I didn't get the invitation to go to LA. That's why I'm up here in Seattle. I got the Nomies back here. Welcome, YouTube Live. Hopefully we teased the announcement out on Twitter. I'm not sure if we did because I haven't been paying attention for the past half hour. I've been on a phone call with someone, and then the hour before that, I was helping my dad with his Mac. I know this is a Microsoft video, but he's learning how to use OS X, and I think we should all be happy about that. He's a more well-rounded geek of sorts. Let's go ahead and pop on over to the Lockernome YouTube channel at youtube.com/Lockernome to verify that we are indeed going live. And I think we are. I'm going to click that link so I can make sure it's shared everywhere. Yay! I can see that I'm streaming live to 273 of you guys. That's awesome. So in terms of the live blogs that I'm watching at this moment, I'm taking a look at The Verge. If you guys know of any other live blogs that are happening, feel free to drop me a line. I don't know of anybody else who's live blogging from there, but I'd certainly be interested in taking a look at their feed, much like we did with WWDC. Thank you so much for joining us. It looks like Paul Croft 77 says he misses the live shows. Well, I'm sorry you missed the live shows. Just couldn't do them every day because we found great engagement with the live audience, like now. But after it was live, nobody would watch. So we just thought, well, why don't we do videos that people want to watch anytime rather than just when we're doing them live. Hope you guys are enjoying the vlogs that we're doing. Do want to mention before too long, before everything really begins, like I said, I've got to watch for the live blogs, that the live Geek Out today is sponsored by GoToAssist from Citrix. And you know that working in IT can be crazy and unpredictable, much like me. Unless you have GoToAssist, if you haven't tried it, it'll help you stay on top of it all. GoToAssist world-class remote support allows you to solve your users' problems quickly from anywhere for a free 30-day trial. I almost said 30-day trial free, which I guess I could have said anyway. Visit GoToAssist.com, click the Try It Free button, and use the promo code Pirillo. That link, by the way, should be directly in the video description, not only of just this video, but any live video that we happen to do. So let's go ahead and see who else is live blogging. And I'm watching your comments, guys, as they come in, so feel free to leave a comment. Oh, Gizmodo has a live feed. Thank you, Circle Con. Gotta tell you, and you guys, I know you say, Chris, I thought you only cared about Apple stuff. Dude, you're not paying attention. I'm excited about any new product that's released, especially if it could be a game changer. And Microsoft, when they set up an event like this, kind of last minute-ish, you know it's got to be good. Come on. It's got to be good. How could it suck? Well, I'm sure we can think of many ways. Yes, Dad? Are you joining us for the live feed?
Yeah, I wanted to know, is that on yet?
Is it on? Yeah, it's happening right now. Dad, apparently, will be joining us. Joe is in the house. He's leaving the house tomorrow, though, guys. Sorry, I hate to disappoint you. See here. Engadget does a live blog post with pictures too. Okay, nothing's really started yet that I can see on the live blogs. This is always very difficult to do when you are working remote with people. But looks like the Nomies are saying hello to you, Dad.
Hello, everybody.
Looks like a minute ago, still shuffling and trying to get in. Actually, as soon as we take our seats, you can expect a blow-by-blow right here. Engadget, I think, had one of the best coverage, I guess, sites or pages for WWDC, so I imagine that Tim Stevens is going to make sure that today's set of announcements from Microsoft will work just as well. There's some rumors, and I think we're close enough to the final launch point to kind of discuss them because, I mean, really, all they are rumors. I don't know if Microsoft would be all that wise to launch a Nook to replace or supplant Android on the operating system for that tablet because it's going to cost a lot more money, or would cost a lot more money with the Windows licensing on a tablet. If they, as alleged in some leaks, release what they might be calling Xbox Surface, that's kind of cool. I mean, if you think about the idea of a portable Xbox, that may be not just a game, I wouldn't say a game changer, I would say a game evolver, but would also, if they went that direction with a portable entertainment device, potentially set them further apart from Apple and the iPad ecosystem, as well as from Android, which I don't know if people would necessarily turn to Android as a mobile gaming platform before they turn to iOS. No bias. I'm just telling you guys market realities. So it'd certainly be interesting to see a portable gaming experience from Microsoft. I'm not a huge gamer, but there are gamers out there, and certainly a lot of gamers in our community, and we want to make sure that everybody is accommodated in whatever we happen to publish out there. Let me make sure this is being shared on our Facebook account and it's on YouTube, obviously, live. We'll tell Facebook we are live. I'm going to go ahead and tweet it out too. You guys are doing the same thing, right? You're liking this video? We are live. There we go, on Twitter. And tweet. And then I should also share it on Google+. I am not the only person who uses Google+. I know I'm not. There we go. We are live. So now I've shared it on the big 3 networks. Everybody should know we are broadcasting live because we're still waiting for everybody to take their seats. That's how Microsoft does things. When they say 3:30, they mean whenever we get to it. Here's the big problem, guys. I have to be out of here at 4. So I hope they get started soon, or at least we get enough information from them to further talk about this. Other than that, I don't know what to tell you. I'm doing my best. I'm here on time. I was on time. I was on schedule. But I have to jet across town because there's a news station that wants to talk about the Microsoft announcement that I want to talk with you guys first. I think of you guys. You're my family, kind of, ish. But you never send Christmas presents. What's up with that? It's a little uncomfortable, isn't it? They're still taking their seats. It's very interesting, them taking their seats. Let's see what was happening on LockerGnome.com today. 5 advantages Linux has over Windows 8. Oh, that's a big one. What's one advantage Linux has over Windows 8? Cost. It's a pretty big. Do you need to know anything else? Cost, right? There's a pretty big advantage. Oh, there's apparently 4 other advantages, by the way, in that Locker Gnome article. Just kind of killing time here, waiting for that conference to start. Ultra slim iPhone charger case review. Oh, nice, a slim one. I have a case charger that I use if I know I'm going to be out and about for a period of time. I don't need to be tethered to a battery. I'd rather slap an external battery pack onto a phone. And I don't think that's just for iPhone users. I think any mobile phone users, if you had the opportunity to have some kind of battery sled, would certainly use it. Oh, interesting. How to soundproof a room in an apartment. That's not something I've had to worry about, but if you listen to my videos frequently enough, then you probably need some kind of soundproofing wherever you live, in your apartment or house or wherever. I like killing time with you guys. It's fun. Update on The Verge. Thank you so much. I'm looking. No, it's not very interesting. Still waiting in line. Okay. 10 reasons why I like physical keyboards over virtual keyboards. Oh, dude, I can't stand virtual keyboards. The iOS keyboard's decent. My favorite keyboard of all time is the Apple keyboard. The layout that they use on the desktop is the same as the notebook computers. Even my dad don't you like the Apple keyboard?
Yeah, it feels good. It feels different.
And Mom likes the Apple. If my mom and dad like the Apple keyboard, and you could use it on Windows too, just FYI. Sound. So you get to hear the clicking and clacking in the sound. Tactile feedback, something to touch. You get the response. Speed. Feel. As kind of like, how does it feel with your hands? Not the tactile feedback, but the feel of the keyboard. Touch typing, not possible with, a virtual keyboard because you may slide and hit another key. You could pause while typing. Bad. I read that wrong. Number pad bliss. Some people like the number pad on their keyboard. I have a number pad on this USB keyboard underneath you can see it right there? See, I have one too. Better positioning, stuck keys, and gaming the keyboard there. So there's 10 reasons why we believe they're in that Locker Gnome article, which is that linked in the video's description? It might be. It is. Take a look at that link. Dad,
The 10 key.
Dad likes the 10 key because he's an accountant, so of course he likes the numbers. Taking a look at the live stream again. Nothing. Apparently it takes people a long time to eat. I've got 15 minutes. I'm doing my best, people. I'm doing my best. Let's see here. The next thing is, what do we have on the laundry list? Taking a look. Got a couple questions queued up, too, that I wanted to answer in this geek out if I'm not able to do this Microsoft announcement thing. Surf the internet from any computer without leaving a trace behind. We've got some instructions for you there, which is quite nice. If you've ever been in public and you've wanted to get online but you're afraid to do anything with that computer, if you don't control the computer, I'd be very careful about what you do on the computer because you never know if it's being tracked and traced. So I tell you, hang on, I don't know if Matt Ryan's listening here. I'm going to pop open TeamSpeak, and I don't know if we've got some of our Locker Gnome Gnomies who are tuned in here, but give me a second here. I'm echoing.
Can we do that in the car?
That's what I'm thinking. If I have to blast out of here, what I'm going to try to do is bring in some of the Gnomies so that they can discuss as the announcements go on, so we can leave the video. I guess we couldn't go because I'd have to stop the live video. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to make everybody happy here, and I want to say, if I'm not able to hear the actual announcement, then I'm happy that Microsoft's making the announcement. So let's go to some questions from the community as asked by any one of you, and we're certainly watching these questions. We're not gonna make this a waste of your time, guys, not by a long shot. We have one. How much do you pay for your cell phone contract? About $123 right now. Diana's not on it. She's on currently a separate contract. I've thought about moving over to Verizon, merging the contracts, potentially spending less money. Had another question asked. Bitly versus Owly. We use both. Bitly is easy for anybody to access. Owly is tied primarily into a Hootsuite account, and we use Hootsuite to schedule tweets and post to Facebook. I guess, ultimately it doesn't matter, really, which one you want to use. I think more people click on Bitly than they do Owly, though, because they see Bitly and they're kind of used to it over and over again. Gameplay recording on a Mac, how to do it. You could use QuickTime. I used QuickTime just this afternoon when I was recording. Well, I didn't tell you. I recorded the session with Dad, and he was kind of walking through it. And I said, do this, do this, do this. Well, we recorded it in QuickTime, recorded it full screen, so he'll be able to go back to it. Even though we ran into some problems with a couple of the utilities, there's some information in there that he may be able to go back to, so it gives him that comfort level. So we just use QuickTime. Yeah?
When Apple has an announcement, do they start on time?
When Apple has an announcement, yes, they start on time.
So that doesn't say very much for Microsoft since they said 3:30 and make everybody wait and then not do it.
I know, and that's the problem, is that I'm on their schedule.
It's just me.
I want this to be a good thing. I really do. I don't know how else to do it because we have to go at 4. We have a hard out. And we have no idea what the hell this is. Thanks, Microsoft. DJ Scooby Doo on LockerGnome.net asks, is there a way to manage or sync your iDevice on multiple systems? I tell you, I'm not using iTunes anymore, and I'm happy. And I've got like three iOS devices, the iPhone, the iPad, the iPod Touch, and I am elated not to be tied to iTunes anymore. Why are you synchronizing your device? If you're trying to manage music, just use iCloud. Or don't use iTunes to manage music anymore. I stopped that a long time ago. I don't ever really download music in iTunes. I use apps all the time. I use Spotify or Amazon now as a cloud player on iOS. I talked about that in the Geek Out the other week. Another question here. Should plugs be standardized globally? Yes! My God, that can't happen soon enough. That would take a lot, though, to have happen. Let me go ahead and check out some news stories around the web while we're still waiting for everything to settle. We're probably going to have like 5 minutes of announcement time.
Yeah, at the last minute.
I can only go by the rumors, guys. And if the rumors are true and they're calling it Xbox Surface, that would be it could potentially be a game changer, and let me tell you why. Nobody else is really doing that and doing that same way. Nobody else has the developer connections that Microsoft has in the gaming universe. Taking that Xbox experience, which, by the way, I had predicted years ago would evolve more into an entertainment experience more than gaming, that's finally, happening. That's come to fruition. It's an entertainment device. And if they're bringing Windows 8 and Xbox into a tablet experience with, a vetted set of partners, and they're selling it, this is the key. If they're selling it within a price range between the Kindle Fire and the iPad, base level $500, that might be pretty interesting, guys. That's something that you would have an iPad, but you may also think about getting an Xbox Surface, if that's the name of the product. And I hate talking about rumors, but honestly, I don't want to close out this video with nothing. I just want to say that would be pretty cool, because people could have both. You wouldn't have to have one or the other. That was according to some spec sheets that were leaked out earlier in the day. Oh yeah, love this. Twitter update. Microsoft live blog will be starting late. We're still waiting outside the venue. Wow. Okay. So, this is working very well. Thanks, guys. Thanks for not disliking my effort in doing this and talking about it. Xbox Surface tablet controller specs. Ooh, someone linked off to a blog article. Let's take a look at that. And this is just rumors, and I hate talking about rumors. I really, really, really do. But the rumor mill was pretty. To me, when I saw the documentation, I was like, wow, that looks like it could be real. A portable gaming device that runs Windows, the Xbox Surface, connecting. It said it could potentially connect different controllers to it, like up to 4 at a time. Like an HD screen. The big question for me is the price point. If they get it under $500, they may have a winner with it. And if I don't know anything about it, but I have 4 Xboxes in the house. If it's the right price, if it's the right effort, if everything looks like a geek's dream come true, I would have no problem buying one. I'm just telling you that right now. As someone who owns an iPad, and as someone who... I have more Xboxes than I do iPads, folks. If you're doing any math here, okay? Just gotta let you know that. Allegedly, now this is from leaked documentation, the Xbox Surface is going to have... It may happen, it may not, I don't know. It's a rumor, and I hate spreading rumors. A 7-inch multi-touch LED screen, max resolution of 720p, 2.4 gigahertz wireless, Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, rechargeable battery, SD card slot all the way up to SDXC. What's interesting, though, it has a hard drive, not a solid-state disk. That's kind of an odd thing to do, but maybe they're doing that for price. Looks like an indeterminate amount of RAM, processing specs, video output, may have HDMI. If this is true. More interesting, support up to 4 wireless game controllers, 4 USB 3.0 ports, an Ethernet port. That could be, if you could get it under $500, if that rumor is true, if it's true, I think they would have something gigantic on their hands. That would just be fantastic. And now we're seeing someone handing out cards that says 5:20 p.m. They're handing out cards that says 5:20. That doesn't mean anything. That means I'm not going to be doing anything. Hang on, guys. I'm going to see if they even want me to do this news thing tonight, because they haven't announced anything. I have no idea what the hell's going on. I don't think they really want me to talk about nothing. Give me a minute. I got to figure out how to get a hold of that person while I'm still here. Dad, why don't you sit down and read the questions that Nomi's... Dad, I can't. I got a call. You could talk about how you use Microsoft and stuff. They'll like you. Dad, let me call, because the announcement's not even happening. I have no... Why would I drive across town to do something that I don't even know? I'm getting more and more uncomfortable with doing this evening hit. Read the comments on the YouTube, too.
Okay, I'll try and do this. I gotta get this a little closer so I can see how's everybody doing. I like Windows. And he was mentioning the keyboard. I do like the feel of the keyboard on the Macs. They feel more comfortable to me. And then I like the punch pad, the 10-key pads. Thanks for the happy Father's Day. And I got a lot of things in Twitter, too, and I appreciate that. I'm going to do a little more there. So I wonder if they will start this. Now, Chris said he saw something that they're going to start at 5:20. Or, I'm sorry. 4:20 maybe. 10 to midnight somewhere. I don't think this play, personally, Chris isn't here, I hope he doesn't shoot me, but this doesn't say to me it doesn't speak too well of Microsoft if they're not organized enough to start something on the time they said they were going to start it. You know, maybe they're, if they're just trying to build the mystique around whatever they're going to do, and it'll take me a while to figure it out, listening to Chris and everybody else that knows more about that kind of thing than I do. But I would think they should start on time. Uh-oh, someone's asking what games Chris plays. I can't tell you particularly what games. He plays a lot of them. But I found one. It's a golf game. It's kind of combines solitaire and golf. And it's by, I think, Big Fish Games. And you play solitaire, and it's all different types of solitaire type approach. And you just keep building and building, and it gets more and more difficult the way the cards are, you get to the cards and things. It's kind of a neat thing if you get a chance to take a look at it. I think it's, I forget what it's called, but it's by Big Fish Games, and it's a golf/solitaire game. Took both of those and combined them. I have a lot of fun with that. And I still like the golf. There's a golf game that's real good, and I like it. Get to make yourself, dress yourself the way you like. And I get to play all the different courses. There's like 10 different courses. I have an old, someone mentioned older Xboxes. I have an older Xbox myself. So maybe sometime I'll have to update that. But I am very close to having my own Mac laptop because I want to do more videos. And from what I hear and what I see, it just seems like Mac's a little easier to work with that kind of thing. The other thing I want to do, and I know I've been very cautious about going on the iCloud, but I'm going to go there so I can work with my videos a lot easier.
It's okay. So you're going to keep talking to YouTube people. I've got to call into the producer. They're talking it over because we have no idea if there's going to be something to announce.
If the announcement isn't made, there'll be nothing to discuss on the news.
I mean, because I want to do it. I love doing this stuff. But if I've got nothing to talk about, I feel like I'm not doing them justice.
Yeah, I started working with the MacBook Pro, and Chris mentioned earlier he did this where it recorded the whole screen, so I can watch that later at home and trip my way through it. But it was pretty easy to catch on to a lot of that.
It was. He did a good job with the Mac. And just to let you know, he's been a Windows user. He still uses Windows. He still likes Windows. Nothing wrong with Windows.
I'll still use
them. And you could record the screen in Windows, guys. I'm just saying, we tend to live in a family where it doesn't matter what you use. Okay, you got to be open to all sorts of decisions.
Yeah, my MacBook's going to be a dedicated thing because I like things separate. So it's going to be dedicated for videos and pictures. And I'm going to get on that cloud to see what I can, how I can use that to my advantage.
Hang on, I'm looking to see if there's any.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the things I like about what I've heard about the iCloud, that it will automatically do backups for you. So that's always been something to me. I don't know why they don't design software/hardware so that when you close out, it automatically backs up for you, so you don't even have to think about it. Because everybody needs backup, and I back up every day. At the end of the day, everything I've changed, I back it up, and then once a week I back up.
Oh, did I?
And I keep it.
Oops.
Did you cut us off the internet?
Yeah, I think.
Need the cord? What do you do with these amateurs?
Hang on, it's still going.
It's still on? Still there? Hey, there I am.
I accidentally unplugged the cord, guys. Hang on, my producer's going.
That wasn't me. Now, I don't know if you guys caught it the other day, but Chris was having trouble. We were sitting at Starbucks having a coffee, and I forget which application wasn't working for him. Oh, he was trying to leave tell Siri to do a reminder to do something, call Diana later, or return the call, or whatever he was trying to say, but it didn't recognize the address. And so he was trying all kinds of different things, and I told him, well, just uninstall that, take all your name information out of that, and just re-put it in there and see if that worked. And he didn't do that for quite a while. And he finally came around to doing that, and that seemed to take care of his problem. I'm kind of a cause and effect type person. Like when something happens, I have all my kids know more about the computers than I do. So they usually, when they come by the house, the first thing they want to do is jump on my computer. And then when they leave and I get back on, I know things have changed because things are moved around. It doesn't do things the same way. So then I'll back up thinking, well, now what did they do? So then I have to back up and figure out what they did. And sometimes I call them and find out what they did. Yeah, Google Drive's another one. It's someone mentioned it on this YouTube channel, I think, and I think it's the same thing as iCloud, and I think there's several of them that allow you to store it. They put your hard drive out on a cloud. It's not in your office, which is good because I'm sure they have excellent backup procedures. Otherwise, their product wouldn't go very well. So that could be a good thing for me.
All right, I think
we're losing people.
What?
Or did we?
No, we didn't. The problem was that when I disconnected the computer,
we knocked people off.
I knocked people off, and they had no idea they needed to hit refresh.
Retweet it.
I don't have time. We gotta go.
Oh, they say they still want to do it?
They want me on standby. So sorry, guys.
We froze up.
Yeah, no, I hit pause. I didn't freeze.
Okay.
Well.
We'll listen to them on the radio. Can we listen?
No, they're not broadcasting us on the radio.
No, I mean the team speak. Maybe they can relay what's going on.
No, because then I can't stop the broadcast. I can't keep it going. I can't keep this going.
No, I know that, but they can be talking. Don't they see it somewhere?
I can't keep this going.
Okay. I tried.
Hey, I tried too. So I guess you can expect to hear more about... Oh, I unplugged things again. You can expect to hear more about what Microsoft's talking about in tomorrow's Geek Out. Stay tuned for that. Sorry about dropping the call earlier. Unless, well, hang on. Let me. I just got this recursive echo. Stop, Chris. Where's it? Oh. Software keeps echoing. Matt. Can you hear?
I can hear you.
Okay, I'm going to do something. I'm going to keep this live stream going and then let you guys run it. And then I'll just edit the video after it's done going live. This is the perils of live production. Does that work?
Hold on, I'm being poked.
So you...
Yeah,
okay, so you and Scotsman and any other Locker Room people will be able to jump into this. Do your best, guys.
What about Hangout? Tech Guru suggested that earlier.
No.
Oh well.
I'm going to try to get the microphone a little close to the... just use a different power adapter here. Hey guys, thanks for your patience. We could have done this tomorrow, like all the announcement stuff,
so
but
I guess we have the helm. We have the helm at this point. I apologize for any of the background noises. We're working on getting this all arranged again, guys. We were not expecting Microsoft to run so late with their announcements. Time rate. In cards that say 5:20 p.m. 5.
my cable keeps falling out.
Obviously a physical product, and the press is going to get to have a hands-on look at it at the event.
Sorry, Matt. I kept disconnecting the Ethernet port, or the cable.
Matt, I kept disconnecting the Ethernet port.
Can you guys hear Matt? Okay. Can you hear Matt and them? Okay. Are you still there?
I am still here. All right.
Sorry.
Right now, it looks like some interesting conversations are going on outside the venue. Basically, right now they're just waiting for someone to take the stage and explain what's going on. Press is still piling in and getting Wi-Fi set up.
And let me just say thanks, everybody, for your patience and understanding of trying to accommodate this stuff. We appreciate it. We wanted to go live with you guys today. Couldn't do it all. Thanks for the likes. I leave it now to Matt and this damn Scotsman.
All right, Scotsman, do you have any live blogs up?
Yeah, I've got The Verge, and I've also got Engadget.
Yeah, I'm working on Engadget myself. ABC News has a reporter on site. Their live blog has comments streaming in live, so it's a little bit more confusing. But yeah, Engadget and The Verge always on the top of their game as far as the live blogs go. So no word as to when exactly the event is going to start. It should have started about half an hour ago. So we're looking forward to seeing what Microsoft has to say. Photo just popped up featuring one chair, one table in the middle of the stage. So we may be seeing a device that can be used on the go by the looks of it.
Yeah, The Verge is showing that they are predicting a tablet with a 16:9 screen ratio, if of course it is a tablet. One of the graphics also looks like a dual screen tablet, not joking.
Yeah, and as always with these things, I mean, we're going off speculation until somebody from Microsoft, possibly Ballmer, takes the stage and actually says, "What is going on?"
Yes, at times like this, I'm glad that I have insomnia.
Just making sure everything's fine.
Absolutely. This is one of those events that you kind of wonder what their thoughts are on timing. They're doing this at rush hour, essentially, on the busiest coast in the nation, and expecting a lot of press coverage, which is a little strange. All the nightly news is going on right now as Chris is heading off to. So you know, where's the press coverage for this thing? Apple at least does this in the morning so that writers are actually at their desk and working. So this is kind of unusual.
Yeah, and I tend to agree with what Joe said earlier. If you're going to say do an event, if you're going to give a time, you start at that time and that's it. The more time you leave, the more you're late, the more and more it's going to seem like a Mickey Mouse job.
Now, if I may, I'm making a joke here. I'm not stating fact. It could be that this event's starting late because they were trying to get Windows 8 to actually load on these devices. But, you know, I may be speculating. You know, somebody in the chat room, JustJoe99, said it could be the Windows Phone 8, and I kind of agree with that. We've had Windows Phone 7 for quite a while. Windows 8 is supposed to work on smartphones. We haven't really seen any implementations of that yet, so that's very well what it could be. Though with that table out in the middle of the stage, looking about tablet size or notebook size, it kind of begs the question, you know, you don't really need a table to show off a phone. So I'm sort of wondering what's going on there. Yes, I ruined the joke. Thanks.
Thank you for everyone in the comments saying epic accent. Thank you. I was born with it.
Now bear in mind, guys, we basically had about 3 minutes to get ready for this. So if we're a little bit rough around the edges, just bear with us. It looks like we're getting close to getting started. They're talking about some last minute shuffling going on, and they're getting ready to start the event. Music's coming to a head, at least we can hope.
And The Verge is reporting strong hints of a dual screen device. We're on the edge of our seats. I just hope they don't go too far forward or they'll fall off and embarrass themselves.
Yeah, and if the press is getting 10-minute increments on cards on their seats, you know there's got to be some hardware. There's got to be something you can physically touch right after the event. So we're kind of looking forward to seeing how that plays out.
Well, my thinking is that it must be some sort of cloud-based thing, because the cards are in 10-minute increments, and at the back of it is some cryptic message and a Wi-Fi password.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the cryptic message being the time that they were given, the 5:20, 5:30, 5:40, and not quite sure exactly why they were given that time, but I'm sure it'll all reveal itself. To me, it just seems like a great way to keep journalists from strangling each other trying to get the first glimpse of whatever gizmo or doodad Microsoft's coming out with.
That certainly makes sense, and I can see what the Verve means by their latest Verge, even with their latest picture.
It looks like we have in the off stream, Scotsman, you're the only one with the permissions to bring them down here.
In other words, give them voice?
I think so, if you can get him down here. He's trying to make his way to this room.
I just moved him and he didn't come.
He's making his way down one room at a time. Anyway, Chris Pirillo should be joining us here momentarily. He's on his mobile, on his way to his studio. So, again, this is all kind of flying by the pants of our seats. And Chris is here. Hey, Chris, how's the road?
Okay, before I left, I tried to set the microphone down next to the speaker, but you guys look at my eyes and my ears as we drive across town. Dad had the idea of using TeamSpeak to connect to you guys on the road since we were leaving the stream up and running.
And for those of you just joining us, the empty chair belongs to Chris Pirillo. He's with us right now. He's the one that sounds like he's on a mobile phone. And we're currently covering the impending Microsoft announcement. And I just saw a photo from there. There's two rectangles, one with dotted lines, one with a solid line. So that two-screen theory, that definitely seems to be what we're going for here.
I have a sneaking suspicion this thing won't start until 5.
They just got up on stage. Good morning and welcome.
Never mind.
Good afternoon and welcome, rather.
I kept screwing up the broadcast earlier. I accidentally tripped the cable, and I didn't realize it was so loose on one end.
And for those of you asking where you can watch the events, I'm not aware of any live stream going on there. But if you do know of one, please let us know.
Otherwise, it's a case of live blogs at The Verge and, in my case, also at Engadget.
Yeah, but our color commentary's got to be worth sticking around for, I think.
Yeah, because you can watch both the live blogs and listen to us at the same time, since there's nothing to watch unless you want to watch Chris's chair.
I don't know.
Well, you can't hear a live blog or in a Scottish accent. That's the big difference here. All right, it looks like it's the event's starting. Still not sure what all the weird imagery around the event is pointing to. There looks like there's a bunch of half and halves, weird angles, colors, rectangles with dotted lines. If bringing the suspense up is Microsoft's goal here, they're definitely doing it.
We just hope for their sakes they don't overhype it and then release something that we don't want nor need.
Yes, because Microsoft has never been known for doing that.
Well, I just hope this is not a repeat of the Zune.
Uh, yeah, I definitely would agree there.
Yeah.
Now,
Honestly, I hope that this isn't seen as anything competitive to the iPad. Anytime you try to go after a competition like that, anybody has gone after Apple like that, they've typically failed. Let them be their own competition, Dad says.
Yeah, and one thing's quite clear, and I saw a blog post about this, and I forget where I saw it from, but it basically stated that Windows 8 is not a competitor to any Apple product. It's a competitor to Android. And I do believe that that is the case.
And here comes Steve Ballmer.
It should be the case. Only Microsoft didn't charge. Sorry, I may have lag going with me, guys.
It's no problem. Steve Ballmer has indeed hit the stage, and he's about to start talking. He's not jumping up and down like a maniac this time, though.
And the picture that The Verge has put up, he looks like a plastic action figure.
So that does put to rest the return of Bill Gates.
So Microsoft's making action figures?
I guess so. In the past several years, we have seen great change, cloud computing, etc. But Windows is the heart and soul of Microsoft, says Ballmer. Over 1 million Windows PCs are out there, and that includes embedded machines and workstations, as Ballmer continues.
It also includes Windows Vista.
Yes, and Windows ME and Microsoft Bob. That's what I hope I don't see a repeat of.
Oh no, this is particularly telling.
Honestly, I don't know. I really am hoping for a gadget that I want to buy.
Now, this is particularly telling. 4.13.12 on The Verge. We are optimists to the core, really. Windows has exceeded our expectations. It powers over 1 billion PCs.
Now, this is a great statement. We designed Windows 8 for the world we know, where most computers are mobile. That is absolutely true. Most computers out there nowadays are actually mobile devices.
But power users don't want to hear that. They want to believe that desktops aren't dead.
Yeah, and for them, desktops are still on the market. I think even in Apple, all the people that complained that there wasn't a new Mac Pro, the Mac Pro is still the most powerful Apple computer in existence. But yes, most users these days experience the web through a mobile device. I mean, I know it's really hard for power users to get that, but it's true.
I don't think this is about power, though. I mean, it's more about portability for most people. They don't care about power. How many times have we said specs are irrelevant to 99% of the people out there? They want to use their computers on the go. There's no doubt about that. Desktops are dying.
All right, and Ballmer just said today we want to add another piece to that Windows 8 story.
Reading between the lines, could that possibly mean a Windows 8 tablet? Or a clamshell style touchscreen laptop of sorts?
with Sony had a tablet, the Sony Tablet P, I believe, which had two screens and it folded, and the design itself was pretty interesting. The Windows 3D or the Nintendo 3DS. I've seen tablets and mobile devices in that form factor. I wouldn't necessarily think it'd be a great thing for Windows, but you never know. Okay, and Ballmer just stated number one revenue product this year was a hardware product. So yeah, it looks like hardware is where they're going.
Matt, could you repeat the announcement for me?
I'm
You
sorry?
kind of broke up. Realize I'm the only one. Can you repeat the announcement for me? You're kind of breaking up, and I may not be able to participate until I stop.
Oh, no problem. Ballmer basically said that the number one revenue product has been hardware thus far, and that Windows is at the core of Microsoft's business. So we're looking at hardware having to do with Windows 8. And though those of you joining us, though we may sound like we're coming down on Microsoft, please understand we're among some of the biggest fans of Microsoft and its products over the years that you will find. It just happens that they've had a few disappointing products as of late, but we're optimistically looking forward to a really good product here, hopefully. And currently at the event, Steve Ballmer's playing video, which includes a lot of Microsoft's previous hardware, keyboards, mice, Xbox Kinect.
And he's back out on stage with the words, "We believe that any intersection between human and machine can be made better when hardware and software are considered together."
Which is what Steve Jobs said every single time he got asked about Microsoft and why they aren't doing so well. So this is like the first time I have heard a Microsoft executive admit that when hardware and software are made in conjunction, or at least in consideration with each other, things are better.
They took a big page from his playbook there.
Yeah, and he then goes on to say, "Take the mouse. Windows needed one, so we built one. Early reviews were not very positive. In fact, it was so new that Canadian Customs quarantined it."
Yeah, and Steve Ballmer is using Xbox as an example of hardware and software made in conjunction with one another. Excuse me for that sound. Made in conjunction with one another. And yes, Xbox is arguably the most popular single Microsoft product since Windows. Okay, and then Palmer goes on, he's saying, of course, the ultimate landing point of the PC experience is through OEMs, HP, Lenovo, Samsung, Toshiba, and others. Over 375 million PCs have been sold, I believe, in the past year, according to the IDC. And they intend to deliver more PCs to market in 2013 than any previous year. They're definitely hyping up what they can do, but I want to see what they're coming out with. All right, it looks like the announcement's actually about to happen right now. Something new, something different. It's a whole new family of computing devices from Microsoft. So Microsoft is coming up with a hardware device unlike one that has come out previously. We could be looking at phone, computer, or tablet.
This could be interesting if it's good and if it's at a decent price point.
Surface.
Oh, wow.
The new Microsoft Surface, which, wow.
It is a tablet, and wow, that looks quite nice.
It looks like it's a 16:9 tablet, definitely. Very, very sharp aspect ratio. And it resembles the HD tablet, I believe.
It does. Semi reminds me of the BlackBerry Playbook, actually.
All right, now they brought up Steven Sinofsky to go over the specs, but from the looks of it, it's a primary horizontal as opposed to the iPad, which is primary vertical, meaning that the home button looks as though it's actually on the horizontal axis, or the wider side.
That is interesting.
And if we can come out of this event with a price, I think we'll have a much better idea of what exactly consumers can see on the PC side in terms of licensing prices for the full OS. This is obviously going to be on Windows RT.
Yeah, we have a few people in the YouTube comments saying that tablet is a mistake. Apple and Google have this market wrapped up. Not necessarily. If Windows can bring out, Microsoft can bring out a Windows 8 tablet, that will be for the Windows 8 operating system. iOS and Android are technically mobile operating systems. This may well be a fully fledged operating system, or at least I would like to think so.
All right, the specs are in. Here we go. It's 9.3 millimeters thin. A USB 2.0 port on board, which, wow, not a USB 3.0. I'm kind of surprised. Beveled edges, chiseled at a 22-degree angle, full magnesium case. Vapor Mag case is the technical name they're giving it. It weighs 576 grams. That's just under 1.5 pounds.
And the case is the first of its kind.
And it does state it has access to various Windows apps, including Xbox, which, I wouldn't say that's necessarily meaning it's going to play the latest Xbox games, but maybe the earlier ones.
.6-inch display. Sorry, Chris.
How big's the display?
10.6 inch.
So about 10.5 about 10.5 inches. That's a pretty good size for a tablet. They say it's an optically bonded display specifically designed for Surface. And they state that semantic zoom is on board. There's a Netflix app already available for it. Surface is dual 2x2 memo antennas.
To stream well, Surface has great Wi-Fi. It's the best of any tablet today. That's a pretty big statement.
You know, to Microsoft's credit, whenever they make hardware, they tend to do a very good job of it. Even though the Zune itself was admittedly a failure, the hardware, the mice, the Xbox, etc., usually does very well on market.
Oh, and it has a kickstand. Really nice idea, actually, built into the device itself.
Yeah, and how many times can you put the Windows logo on a device? My gosh, I see it twice already.
I think it's because you don't want people mistaking it for a rather ugly-looking iPad.
So it looks like a photo frame by the looks of the side. I'm seeing a side view here. It's the same width throughout from the top to the bottom. The kickstand looks pretty interesting. It's a very thin little kickstand.
As you would expect, it's Gorilla Glass.
And there's a magnetic connector allowing the cover to snap on. That sounds familiar. Okay, Corning Gorilla Glass 2 is the glass on it, so it's not a cheap plastic or what we're finding with a lot of budget tablets. This is actual Gorilla Glass, which is a pretty good thing. Oh, the cover. Okay, the cover that's actually included with it is a full multi-touch keyboard.
Oh, now that's interesting.
That is very interesting, especially since this is supposed to be a content creation device as opposed to a content consumption device. Okay, yeah, it looks like a laptop when it's completely open, and it is actually quite stunning.
They say touch typing is possible. Let's see if my 10 reasons for physical keyboards can change.
Yeah, and the experience I've had with touch keyboards that really don't have much tactile feedback has been pretty lackluster, other than virtual keyboards. So I do kind of worry about this one, but it looks like a pretty full-fledged keyboard. It's about the size, just from first glance, as the Apple keyboard. It actually kind of looks like it.
It is 3 millimeters thin.
That is pretty thin.
And there's a camera on the rear of the device. That's surprising, not.
Yeah, so it's a tablet that actually kind of works like a laptop computer. This is very interesting. What do you guys in the chat room think?
Actually, one of them, Daniel Blakes, I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, how does the keyboard hook up? Bluetooth?
Magnets.
Mm.
It might be Bluetooth, but the actual connection is magnet. So it looks a lot like the iPad 2 when it first came out with the magnetic smart cover.
Oh, and now the logos that have been posted around the room at the very, very beginning all make sense. The top square, which wasn't a dotted line, which was a full line, is the Surface. The dotted line underneath it was for the keyboard. Very clever, well done.
Yeah, and the what's powering it is an ARM processor made by NVIDIA.
Oh, hello. This is Surface for Windows 8 Pro.
Wow, really?
That is what The Verge says.
Well, I don't know if Chris is still with us, but that surprises me. I mean, I was expecting Windows RT on it.
Okay. Well, it's running on an ARM processor, so I mean, I can't imagine they're making too many modifications.
And apparently, it's a clear type full HD display, which is that 1080p?
Possibly.
On a 10-inch screen, that's pretty. I mean, that's not Retina, but it's not terrible. Yeah, for a full HD display to be on that, I mean, that does put it in direct competition with the iPad. I'm sorry about the background noises. I'm trying to shut those off.
And just to say that Executive Michael Anguillo has joined us on the stage. Well, not joined us, but has joined everyone else. And he's saying less than £2, less than 14 millimeters, and it's a full PC.
Yes, and the kickstand itself, which keeps the tablet up without the use of an external stand, is 0.7 millimeters thick. That's less than a millimeter just for the stand. Ivy Core i5 inside the tablet he's holding. Okay, hold on now. It has an i5 chip. Was the ARM processor for video?
The ARM processor may well be for us, for the general user.
That
but
kicks
the i5.
One more thing that could break.
Yes, he's right. He's very true. But the Ivy Bridge Core i5, that could well be what's making it possible for Windows 8 Professional.
That could be. I mean, I'm just looking at this again as an outsider. If it has full 1080p HD and a 10-inch screen, a Core i5 processor, I mean, this thing could definitely do the majority of the things a user would need it to do. It's like a super-powered netbook, essentially.
That's one way of putting it. And according to Engadget, Surface has perimeter venting. So that I'm assuming just for the Pro version, so that it keeps the inside nice and cool. That's a good idea. If that's the case, I want that Surface.
Yeah, because Core i5 processors, I mean, Ivy Bridge, well done, but those things get hot. So I'm curious to see how this perimeter venting actually works.
I'm not sure if I'm going to go the same way as the YouTube commenters and saying Core i5 chip, bye-bye iPad. I'm going to say that it will make a good PC, or it should make a good PC. This is getting interesting.
Yeah, interesting would be the best way, I think, to put it as well. Not necessarily, wow, this is the desktop killer, but along the same lines, this is one of the more impressive things we've seen in the tablet market in quite a while.
Pen input digital ink is also what's coming up now.
Yeah, and because the screen is optically bonded, it is apparently makes it feel as though you're writing directly onto the page, which I think could be pretty interesting. You're not seeing that big separation there that you normally would.
And the pen is magnetized to the body of the tablet, so
Yeah, and keep in mind this is touchscreen, but it does have a stylus available for writing, for signing documents, for doing the things that you would need to do in a professional environment. This is pretty cool.
And he is touting this as a full desktop PC. It looks like a laptop's baby brother, but it's bigger and more powerful than a netbook, but smaller than your typical laptop. And because it's a high-res display, we have DisplayPort.
DisplayPort. Okay, all right, I'll go with that. DisplayPort's pretty interesting to see there. DisplayPort's pretty much, well, of course, Apple has a modified version of it, but it's pretty much the same type of technology used to power a full-fledged monitor. So you could plug this thing into a full-on monitor.
Have they given a price point yet?
They have not yet.
Nope.
Right now, we're taking a look at the stylus that they're including with it. Not necessary for interaction, but you can sign documents on
it. It looks extremely interesting.
Sounds like they're making the Homer.
Yeah, they're touting it as being a full-fledged desktop PC in a tablet form factor, which, wow.
Oops, and hello, we've got another keyboard. And this one is called the Surface Type Cover. And it's a typical clickable keyboard with a ClickPad style trackpad on board.
Yeah, it'd be a great accessory. I like the idea of the cover they showed first. Though, yeah, having that tactile feedback, that 1.5 millimeter key travel, definitely comes in handy when you're punching out a long article or something. Okay, so there's two different versions. There's Surface for RT, Surface for Windows 8 Pro, and the touch covers that they're announcing. So those are the four items that they have announced today. So there's a consumer model, a professional model, and your interaction devices.
And Panos Penny is up, the designer of the products. He says, I'm humbled right now and flattered to be up here. The whole team at Redmond is waiting to see what you have to say. Sorry, a whole team.
All right, now they're talking colors. How many colors this thing will be available in?
And here comes the creation video.
Okay, so while that video is playing, we'll just recap real quick. We've got a 10.6 inch screen on a tablet called the Surface. It's running two different models. One has an ARM processor, which is made by NVIDIA. The other one is running Core i5 processors, and that's the Pro version, which will run Windows 8 Pro. It's very, very different machines, different processors. So one will ideally be the budget option for consumers. The other one looks like it's going to be a desktop replacement tablet, which is something we really haven't seen in the space just yet. Also, the professional version has a full HD screen, which I believe means 1080p video. And on a 10-inch screen, that is as close as you're going to get to Retina display.
Tablet PCs with desktop replacements.
I am waiting to see how many people will tout this as an iPad killer. I technically don't see it. I love my iPad too much.
I think a desktop killer would probably be a better. I think the iPad is still got it still has its place. This is, in my opinion, based on what they're saying, intended to basically make laptops look like big clunky devices.
I am waiting to see what the price point is going to be for this. I am going to guess that they're going to try and price this aggressively. So they might try and get it under a typical iPad, but I think maybe not.
If they want to have a hope and a prayer for the RT version, the ARM processor one, it's got to be competitive with the iPad. The Pro one, though, I see it being $999 minimum.
I think I agree with you, although I still want the Pro one. Just from what I see here, that's enough for me to say I want the Pro version.
Okay, full specs are available at surface.com. So if you go to surface.com right now, you can actually take a look at the device for yourself. And the one that they're showing on the front page has this pretty blue cover. And I'm looking for price on that site. I don't see price as of yet. If anyone gets any information on the price before we can see it, please let us know. And now they're just reviewing how awesome the product is. So we're still waiting on a price point or any further information. Thus far, it looks like a pretty handy device to have, especially if you are a business person on the go and you don't necessarily want to carry around a laptop with you. It does seem like a pretty interesting alternative. It's definitely the first play Microsoft has made for tablet hardware. That's pretty interesting.
If it's $200, it's mine.
You're putting it at 200? that with the ARM processor, that actually might be a very reasonable price. I'd say with the Core i5, you'd be looking at pro laptop prices at minimum.
I'd hope that they would price it that aggressively. 200 for the ARM chip, and even go as far as 500 for the Ivy Bridge Core i5. But I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't. I wouldn't be surprised if they went 1,000 for it.
Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at a basically a 1080p laptop and a 10-inch form factor, there's got to be some price considerations there. But with RT and the ARM processor, that has got to be priced against the iPad and against any other tablet in the Android space. Otherwise, it just won't work.
I like the Vapor MG case exploded view that they've currently got up on screen for The Verge. It looks very, very nice. And the designer goes, here's my room key. It's 0.77 mil thick, just to illustrate the point.
So you guys in the chat room over on YouTube and at the in the Nomies group, what do you think? What would you pay for this? First for the RT version, and then for the Pro version. What would your magic price point be? Now, this is something interesting Microsoft does that Apple doesn't. They give an exploded view of the device from inside and out. Apple doesn't want you to know what's inside their gadgets, but here you can see from Microsoft what looks like a pretty small board and very, very compact components inside the Surface.
Yeah, that could well be because Microsoft doesn't care if you go and steal their idea or whatever, but Apple do. Don't know, I could be... Go on, Matt.
I'm seeing a lot of comments here, $300 to $500 being the expected price range for RT, $250 to $300 being the buying range, and for the Pro, anywhere from $500 to $800. Not seeing a lot of people saying they would pay $1,000 for it, but yeah, at about $800 seems to be what people are expecting to pay for the Pro, and let's just hope that Microsoft agrees.
I have to say, looking at Surface.com, the gallery with the different colour multi-touch keyboards, the keyboards being in the different colour gives a little bit more, it looks better. If it was just the same colour grey, it just wouldn't look just as nice. It looks nice with the colour, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely. And Chris is in and out. He's currently doing a hit with a local news station. So look forward to that video coming out soon. But for right now, it's the Scottish voice you hear is not Sean Connery. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's actually our own Scotsman, John from lacrognome.com. I'm Matt Ryan with lacrognome.com. We're also joined by a few of the Nomies. In the chat room, you can see behind the empty chair. And we do appreciate any likes, thumbs up, shares, comments. All of it, really helps us do what we do. So we do thank you very much for that consideration.
Although I really would hope that if you do recognise this voice, it's because you recognise it from either my channel or from Brick Tricks with the "Hey guys, what's up, this damn Scotsman here." However,
Yeah, Surface.com is experiencing a little downtime intermittently as it gets flooded with people.
Because it seems that Microsoft has hit the mark. Hasn't hit short of the mark, hasn't overextended the mark, has hit the mark dead on. Whether or not that is true in the next coming days and weeks, we'll see.
This is interesting. The touch cover has an accelerometer built into it, so it turns off when it's not being used. That's a battery saver.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's something the iPad doesn't have, an accelerometer in the cover.
Very true. And now they show you what an exploded view of the touch keypad. Touch keyboard, rather.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm seeing some transparent film. I do see the touch points, some plastic backings. Now, I do know one. What we can hope for on the price is that Microsoft recognizes that they're going to make plenty of money off of the Windows App Store on the overhead that they get from app sellers, and that they will price this object to sell as opposed to being one that they make profit off the hardware. That's what we can hope for, but Microsoft has never really been extremely aggressive in their hardware pricing. It's always been sort of middle of the line. So I don't want to get anyone's hopes up. This is probably not going to be the best priced object out there.
However, we can hope that they have learned from their mistakes. Highly unlikely, but we can hope.
Well, I for one was not expecting this. I expected Microsoft to come out with a lackluster, middle of the range product. They make good hardware. They really do. But it's not. It's just generally not the best because they have vendors that they work with. They're OEMs: Hewlett Packard, Dell, HP. All the Lenovo. Everyone that makes hardware to run the software that Microsoft makes has to make a profit too. And for Microsoft to enter the space and say, you know what, we're making our own hardware, that, they've got to price it well. Otherwise, it's going to be in direct competition with their biggest vendors, which could go to Android.
It turns out that the touch keyboard, the one that actually has tactile feedback, measures touch faster than any keyboard you can use today.
Here we go, pricing time. 32 and 64 gig models, priced like comparable tablets based on ARM. Let's see what we've got.
And the Pro's coming in at 64 gigs and 128 gigs, but will be priced on par with Ultrabook class PCs. That's interesting.
I'm calling it big mistake. Ultrabook class PCs are way overpriced. And to price a tablet at that, especially with a Core i5 processor, yes, great hardware, but seriously, guys, seriously. You're looking at $1,300 and up for that.
Availability will dovetail with the Windows 8 launch. That's for RT. Pro doesn't come until 3 months later. And Ballmer is making a return to the stage to big, big applause.
Yeah, so we have 4 SKUs, and the covers I can only imagine are being sold separately, but we'll see. Scott, so I'm going to step away for just a second. You have the floor.
Okay. We will now wait. We will now play the waiting game to see how much each device costs. Well, in the range. And as Bulmer steps back out onto the stage, he says, I want to thank 7 I think that's supposed to be Stephen, Panos and their team, we've invested in talent, in time, in capital to bring the Surface to market. He says we're very proud of Surface, just like we're very proud of Windows 8, because Windows 8, the Surface is a PC, the Surface is a tablet, he says. And I think that's the end of it. We are not getting a price. That is indeed it. Time for hands-on. They have not announced a price for it. Oh wait, a video.
Okay.
It
Yeah,
doesn't
when
look
they,
as
when
if
they
they're
say that it's
announcing a
going to be
price.
priced like compatible or comparable ARM-based tablets or comparable Ultrabooks, then
Wait.
I don't think they're going to have an actual price.
They didn't name price?
They said
Nope.
They said the ARM processor one will be priced like ARM tablets in the market, and the Pro one will be like an Ultrabook, which is way too expensive.
Wow. Yeah, this is, as far as I'm concerned, this is it's a non-announcement without pricing.
I agree.
Yeah, hopefully they'll have it at the end, but I doubt it. But we are looking at, right now, we have 32 and 64 on the ARM version, and 64 and 128 on the
Where are you getting
Pro
that?
version. I'm sorry?
Where are you getting that?
They announced the sizes. It's on Engadget, on the live blog, or blog.
Yep, that's it, and they've now gone off to get their hands on it, to try it. No price.
So what's an ARM tablet going for?
I would guess anywhere from 200 to 500.
ARM tablets that I can find, well, in the UK, 60 to £200. So that would be what, $100 to $500? No, $300.
Yeah, and there's no price listed on Surface.com, so yeah, it looks like a really great piece of hardware. But if they're asking $1,300 plus, which is about what an Ultrabook goes for right now, that's way out of the ballpark for a tablet, even one with a Core i5 processor.
Is there an SD slot?
Nope. Doesn't look like it.
No, there is USB 2.0. Which that's disappointing. There's an Ivy Bridge processor on it. It should have USB 3.0, even in a tablet.
Hold on, I'll download the spec sheet. Right, the Windows RT Surface is 10.6-inch clear type HD display. It has an micro SD card slot, USB 2, micro HD video, 2x2 MIMO antennae. It comes with Home Office, Office, Home and Student 2013 RT, a touch cover and a pen cover, apparently. And is configurable to 32 gig or 64 gig. The Windows 8 Pro is slightly heavier, slightly thicker, but still the same 10.6-inch clear type HD display. It has micro SD XC, USB 3.0, mini DisplayPort video, and the same MIMO antennae. It comes with touch cover, type cover, pen, and palm block, and is configurable to 16 gig, 64 gig rather, and 128 gig.
Yeah, so it does. The Pro version has the USB 3.0. Okay, that's much better. Because I mean, if they're considering this to be a full-fledged tablet form-factored ultrabook, that's definitely what they would need is the faster interface.
And it looks as if the Windows 8 Pro Surface is almost 1 kilo. I think I could be wrong in that statement.
Yeah, and by the looks of it, the case can actually be disassembled fairly easily. You can see the sockets and everything from the outside. That's an aesthetic issue that Apple tries to get away from, but I like the idea of being able to have access to the innards. For those of you wondering where Chris is, he just did a spot on a local news station, so he's on his way back. You can hear him, though.
Actually, Mad on Minimum has a very, very good point. Looking forward to install an Android version that he can dual boot from. That could be interesting. Having a Surface, the Windows 8 Pro Surface, run either iOS or Android.
I would say definitely good luck getting iOS on that thing. But but Android, yeah, I could see that being interesting, though I'm pretty sure by the time this is actually released, because it's not coming out until Windows 8 is finalized, we're probably going to see Android tablets that meet or beat the specs on this thing.
I certainly hope so. That, it's still perfectly interesting. It's just the point of, if you're going to make an announcement like this, tell us the price.
Everything else just seems to be the
Indeed.
price is the only thing that really mattered, and they didn't share it. Which tells me one thing: they're afraid. No, what it tells me is that they built up this great device, but the price was a very painful point. Yeah, the news conference is done.
Yeah, to put it at a comparable price with an Ultrabook, though. I mean, it's not an Ultrabook, and it doesn't have the specs of an Ultrabook.
Yes,
Is that what
you
they said?
Yeah, they said it's going to be comparable to an Ultrabook, the Pro version. The regular one, an ARM-based tablet. I still think it's a great concept, a great device, but I'm pretty sure some of the third-party OEMs that they work with are going to come up with something more cost-efficient and probably even better in the months ahead. I mean, it doesn't take long to innovate around an idea that's already been presented.
I tend to agree with Chris in the fact that they must be afraid of the price point. if they were proud of the price point, they would have announced it today. If they are afraid of the price point or think that it's probably too much, then they wouldn't have announced it today, and they didn't announce it today.
Hello?
Hi, we're still live on YouTube. Welcome, Creighton.
So, Creighton, what do you think of the announcement?
I actually think it's a really good announcement. It's their Microsoft's marketing strategy for this couldn't have come at a better time for the tablet. I think it would be a great addition to the Windows product place, because they haven't really been able to get into the tablet market yet. So I think that should be really good.
Although I tend to agree with what Chris has already said, that they must be afraid of the price point because they haven't announced it yet. Maybe not for the ARM, but certainly for the Pro version. If they're pricing it on par with Ultrabooks, I've seen Ultrabooks for £1,500.
It could also be, it's just speculation on my part, it could also be that there are some agreements being made with the OEMs that they really don't want to tick them off by being the first to announce a price.
Actually, that's also a good point. That's also possible.
Because, yeah, I mean, if my biggest supporters and the people that license my product aren't the first to come to market with that object, I would really hate to set the benchmark and have them look like the idiots that are going too high or too low. But then again, Chris is probably right. I'm just speculating another idea. Now, micro SDXC on the Pro, I do like that. I think it's also on the ARM as well. So that would be pretty good. You'd be able to basically double the amount of storage capacity on that thing.
No, the micro SDXC is only for the Pro version. You do get micro SD for the RT ARM version.
Yeah, the ARM version seems like it's going to be grossly underpowered. I mean, granted, yes, NVIDIA is behind the production of that processor, but what were there specs on that processor? I mean, what are we looking at in terms of power? I mean, what nanometer technology are we looking at?
There is no information for the power of the processor.
And the Core i5, I would say that as well. I need to know, is it a Core i5 that is bottom of the line? Is it the Core i5 that has the most power going to it? It's a portable device, so I wouldn't imagine so.
Did you guys hear him say anything about 128 gigs on a model?
Yep, that's the Pro version. That's the top of the line Pro.
But that's going to weigh in at over $1,000.
Oh, it definitely will. I mean, I can't think of any Ultrabooks right now that are selling it at anywhere close to an iPad type of price. So now that you've actually seen the product in its entirety, I've already polled you guys before on what the best price point for you would be. Now that you've seen it all, what would you actually expect Microsoft to release this at? Oh, and RAM. Yeah, absolutely. RAM is another consideration. Are there any specs on RAM available?
Nope, they don't give you specs on RAM. They give you very, very, very few specs on the spec sheet that you can download from Microsoft.com/surface/en/us/about.aspx. In other words, just go to surface.com, go to about, and then download the spec sheet.
And if it's not listed there, that bothers me as well. They're touting this as being a full-fledged desktop PC in a tablet form factor. It's supposed to do the full-on Windows experience, Windows Professional experience, and all the things that we've been talking about. I would like to know what kind of RAM we're working with, because when you're working with a desktop or a laptop, you wonder about the RAM. That's important. How much stuff can you have open at once? I know it's gotten a little bit quiet here for just a moment. Just going over some of your responses here. Looking at 500 for the RT, about 1,000 to 1,100 for the Pro. That seems to be the general consensus of the chat room. Looking over at the Nomi's chat, about 1,500 for the 128 gig. That coming from T-Rex. I believe that would probably be on par with what they're going to ask for it. Not saying it's a great price, but that's probably, especially with the 128 SSD inside, that's probably what they're going to end up asking. And only the Surface Pro has a full HD display. So the one for ARM and Windows RT, that one's probably going to be more along the lines of 720p than 1080.
Well, CNN Money is saying that the Windows 8 Pro version, since Microsoft say that it's the price point the same zone as Ultrabooks, which typically are run around $1,000, so they're thinking the same way as us.
No date for shipping, question on pricing. They're going to be overpriced.
Yeah, they said Windows RT is going to come out in sync with the Windows RT version is going to come out in sync with Windows 8, and 3 months later the Pro version will be available. So at the very least, we're probably 4 or 5, maybe 6 months away from actually seeing this thing.
And we've got one saying $300 to $400 for the RT Pro, $1,200, $1,350 for one of the YouTube commenters who's just scrolled off my screen.
And thank you once again, everyone, not only for tuning in, but for your likes, your shares, your comments. We really appreciate it. It helps us do what we do, and we couldn't be more grateful. that mini display port, that I would like to see. I would love to see a larger monitor hooking up to that thing, because that's one thing we've always kind of dreamed about. Is you take a portable device that fits either in your bag or in your pocket, you sit down, you plug it into a much larger screen.
Shiraz Khan in the YouTube comments makes a very good point. By the time that this Surface comes out, it could well be possible that by the time it actually is fully immersed in the market, iPad 4 is already going to be in the market and beating them.
Yeah, looking at the batteries, we haven't really discussed the batteries as of yet, but looking at them, we're looking at a 31.5 watt hours of power on the Windows Surface. That doesn't mean 31.5 hours of usage. It means that for every watt. I mean, basically, you have that many watt hours available in the battery. 42 for the Pro. I'd imagine the Pro will not be a sipper of electricity in comparison.
I think Daniel Blakes has hit the nail on the head here. So let me get this straight. We have no battery life estimations, no RAM estimations, no actual processor specs, no price, no drive specs, no shipping date, no camera specs. Need I go on? It seems as if Microsoft have just given us, here's the tablet, it'll be ready soon, buy it.
So could you, that laundry list of things, could you email that to me if that was a comment? Because I'd like to use that on the news segment if I could.
I could have always said I just clicked off this page.
Matt, we also don't have any word about 3G or 4G, and to me that would be important on any tablet computer, is being able to be mobile, and I'm seeing that in the comments. There's no word about what type of compatibility we'll have with that. It's all they mentioned was Wi-Fi. They mentioned they had 2x2 Wi-Fi antennas. They didn't say anything about 3G. Yeah, I am seeing some comments about GPU, the graphics processor. It's probably going to be tied in with the CPU. It's been that way with a lot of tablets. So you're definitely not going to see like a high-end NVIDIA GeForce 650 or something in there. It's going to be whatever the actual processor can handle. And I'll agree with Zagwe here in the No News chat that it must have 3G in order to be successful. If I'm going to pay $1,000+ for something, yes, I would expect it to have at least the capability of 3G. Now, granted, it does have USB 3.0 in the Pro version, so you could connect an external modem, but who would really want to?
Wait, what does it have in Pro?
USB 3.0. It has 2.0 in the regular version, 3.0 in the Pro.
There you go, Chris. Managed to get back to the comment, copied it, and emailed it to you.
Yeah, that's a funny comment. How are you going to be able to play Battlefield or Modern Warfare 3 with that? I don't think this is intended as a gaming device beyond casual games or tablet-specific games. You're definitely not going to be playing first-person shooters at full def on this thing.
No, you wouldn't be able to play Battlefield 3 on it, and you certainly wouldn't be... Well, you wouldn't be able to play Modern Warfare 3 on it, and you certainly wouldn't be able to play Battlefield on it, but I don't see a reason why you couldn't play Minecraft on it.
Other than the fact that Minecraft is not currently made in that particular code base. It's made for old Windows, but it's not, unfortunately, made for the new one yet.
It does work on new Windows, I believe. I could be wrong, but I do believe it works.
On Metro or on the regular desktop, because Windows RT does not have Arrow.
Ah, well, there we go. There's your problem.
I thought it did. I thought they went back on that, Matt.
I'll have to look into that.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm still seeing Windows RT not allowing for installation of x86 or 64 software.
Interesting. I could see Yeb or John doing something about that, but probably not at the moment.
What other things were they missing in this announcement?
I'm going to say they gave us a Surface look at Surface.
I mean, aside from RAM or perhaps specs on. I'm just looking at the spec sheet right now. There's a lot missing. Yeah, they don't mention anything about the quality of the cameras, or if there's an external microphone, or where its direction, or really about the capabilities of the.
There'd have to be a mic.
There would
They
have
don't
to be
even
a mic.
mention sound.
Is Arrow gone though?
That's what I'm trying to find out. From what I see, you can't install regular Windows applications on Windows RT. Like, it has to be Metro apps, which would defeat the purpose of having a desktop.
Wait, I thought the Office apps that they ported still on Arrow.
Apparently, their touch, their special touch
Office
version,
apps
but
reported
I'm
to
double
Arrow.
checking on that.
I'm confident. That's why it didn't make any sense. And I thought they recanted on it.
Yeah, and they didn't mention whether this thing has speakers, whether this thing has volume control of any sort, if it has a microphone. They don't mention RAM, they mention hard drive. They don't mention very, very much, actually.
Actually, just yesterday, there's a report out of ThinkDigit that explains Windows RT will include Office 2013 RT, which is a special version made for Windows RT.
Yes, but is it going to run in Arrow or in Metro? I think it's going to run Arrow in a Metro type interface on Arrow.
When they did the demo of it, it ran in Arrow, or at least when we saw some screenshots.
Our tablet's going for about on average now.
Depending on where you're getting it, I would say $400 to $1,000. 400 to 1,000.
And 22, Sean.
Let's not forget.
And
I think
22,
the biggest
Sean.
honestly, the biggest announcement here was when Ballmer, in the very beginning, said, we believe that the marriage of hardware and software is a perfect union. They basically said Apple's been doing it right all along. So at which point they conceded to Apple, Microsoft's producing.
And that is a huge deal. I mean, that's an argument that two companies have been having for years. This does remind me loosely of the D conference where Steve Jobs and Bill Gates sat next to each other, and Bill Gates gave his vision of the future being in a tablet form factor, and Steve Jobs sitting back. The iPhone had just been announced, and it turned out that actually Apple had gotten to the tablet form factor first in the way that worked best for the market. But throughout that entire interview, they were going back and forth about should hardware be made with software and vice versa. It looks like Microsoft's coming full circle on this. And I'm seeing a few comments about, waste of time. I think this announcement, it didn't have the meat that it needed. It didn't really announce anything that we can take and run with today. But I do think it's important in that the timing on Microsoft's part is right on par with Windows 8 coming out. I have a feeling that this is just an example of what's possible with the platform. So it may be Microsoft more displaying how relevant it is in today's market than necessarily announcing a product. I mean, granted, they announced a product, but they didn't really tell you enough about it to make you want to buy
it. No doubt. You wouldn't even know what you'd be buying it for. Or I mean, not for, but how much. Again, they've got serious Apple envy. I mean, like, in a big, big, big way. They're trying to be too many things to too many people with Windows, unfortunately. Windows Phone was designed from the ground up to be touch. Windows 8 was designed to, well, we don't really know.
And I was actually kind of
they're clinging to the past.
Sorry, we must be hitting lag between the two of us. Go ahead.
Actually, Fazil in the Nomies chat did actually say something that Intel have said, and that's that Ultrabook prices will come down to around $699 in time. But the whole point with that is how long will it take to get down to $699 from where they currently are?
The more apps I buy on iOS, the less apps I buy on Windows.
Yeah, I'm still trying. I do see the demonstration with Office 2013 RT was indeed an arrow, which kind of makes me wonder, was that for the demonstration or was that actually what the end product will be? And I'm not seeing any record on either side of that argument. So it's to me, it's up in the air. Though if you can't install x86 to 64 programs, I don't see the point. I don't see why you would need Arrow on anything that can't run full programs. Yeah, and Latro in YouTube comments made a point. Why would they price it if it's not coming out until October? It's a pointless exercise. It might not even be the final model. That's very true. They may still be working on it. They may have just come to market to say something because they know another announcement is coming from someone else. It wouldn't be the first time Microsoft's done something like that.
Still seems a bit pointless to me.
Google did that.
Yeah. And again, they could be waiting for one of their OEMs to come to market with an item and give a price first. That may be in some agreement somewhere we don't know about. I mean, this will be the first time Microsoft has produced a computer capable of running their full operating system, which it's not like Microsoft to be in the hardware game. And there is a headphone jack, Zoggy Boy, that has indeed been shown. There is a headphone jack. I don't know about a microphone jack, though. And I do apologize for the silence. We've been at it for about 2 hours. I'm trying to find something else interesting to say. 1366 by 768 display on the RT model claims the Verge. I'd say that's about on par with what you would expect on a regular tablet. So yes, that's definitely believable. And the Verge actually has people out there looking at it hands-on, so they're probably getting the specs that aren't listed on the sheet. And Jar Jr. 88, definitely agree with that. It's still a concept model. They probably haven't done, or the folks at Microsoft probably haven't done enough work on it yet to actually determine a real price. That's definitely a possibility. As Chris Pirillo said earlier, it could be because they're scared, because they know it will cost a lot more than people are willing to pay for it, at least right now. Now, if other manufacturers come to market and they say, we'll have a similar tablet and it's going to be $1,500, well, then Microsoft can say, okay, ours is $1,300. And they wouldn't feel that it wouldn't be that much of a sticker shock. But for right now, it would be a sticker shock. Anything above $500 has a shock factor. Phenomenon, Intel's next processor launch, no exact word, but Ivy Bridge is still very young. I think at this point we can kind of start winding down the discussion. The live stream is currently unphysically attended, so it will probably still remain on for a little while. But for the most part, we're pretty much wrapping up here. So thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for your likes, your comments, for sharing the video. We'll have a final synopsis up for you shortly in the form of this video. So thank you again very much for joining us. Thank you to Scotsman for staying up late. Thank you for Creighton for sweeping in at the end and bringing some sanity to the conversation.
Creighton? Sanity? Really?
Well, silence is the sanest thing to have.
Well, I'm busy as well, just published an article on the wrap up of everything, and kind of right now a script right now to do a video wrap up as well.
Oh, look at him! Very, very, very awesome. So, and yes, you should expect by this time tomorrow, certainly, Locker Gnome will have full synopsises. I'm probably going to be crunching away at it all night. So look forward to that at lockergnome.com. Creighton, as always, will have something up very shortly, I believe at logiclounge.com. And this damn Scotsman, where can people find you?
On lockergnome.com.
On lockergnome.com. I believe you can also just search the web for this damn Scotsman, and you'll find him on Twitter and Facebook and all those good places. For me, I'm Matt Ryan. You can find me mostly on lockergnome.com, as well as twitter.com/Matt Ryan. So for now, we're going to go silent. The stream's going to stay up. Feel free to keep chatting. Thank you very much for tuning in. Have a great night. See you later.
Good night.
See you later. Almonds, folks.